Cora. And Minister, appreciate you being here before us today, but I'm a bit disappointed that Minister Ryan himself doesn't stay. He seems to run away when it comes to rural independence, when it comes to independence coming before him in recent times. So maybe you might pass that on to him, but we would like actually that he'd stay put, on, not in any way degrading you, but like in fairness, the Senior Minister needs to hear facts, and he won't be hearing facts from most of his own crowd backpatting him and not explaining to him what's happening out there. In order for the temporary emergency generation to be available in Q4 2023, licence applications are required to be lodged by the end of March 2023 to enable due consultation on and consideration of the applications by the EPA. Legislative amendments are required urgently to facilitate this process. Ireland is one of the most fossil fuel reliant countries in Europe, and we're largely dependent on costlier imports of both oil and gas. Most of our electricity is generated from natural gas, and again, the price of the natural gas is something we just can't control in Ireland. The government's failure to provide new exploration licences for domestic Irish oil and gas means that we are dependent on the price being set by other countries and companies. Renewables is something that's probably Ireland's greatest strength in terms of the weather, but our greatest weakness is the snail's pace at which this government is delivering it. Irish families are paying up to $4,000 a year or more for electricity following a sustained price increase dating back to the mid-2021. Making matters worse, energy industry analysts say delays in new wind farm developments will contribute to a supply squeeze that will keep prices above the pre-pandemic levels until 2030. By December 2022, consumer electricity prices were 62.7% higher year on year, according to the Central Statistics Office, from December 2021 to December 2022. The price of gas rose by 86.5%. Liquid fuels, home heating oil, were up 39.9%, and solid fuels were up 46.9% in the year. The wholesale gas prices hit their peak in August 2022, rising to a whopping 346 per megawatt hours, a more than 450% increase on prices before the invasion. The price of gas remains high, but has now fallen to a level not seen since the second half of 2021, when we first started to feel the rising costs. High energy costs in Ireland are having a significant impact on all sectors and groups of people, from the households to the businesses to the agriculture and transport sectors. Everyone is feeling the strain of ever-increasing energy bills. Households are the most immediate and significant impact of high energy costs. It's felt by householders. The cost of electricity and gas has more than doubled in the past 2 years, making it difficult for families to make ends meet, Minister. This is particularly true for low-income families, who are more likely to experience energy poverty, which is defined as being unable to afford adequate warmth and energy services in their homes. The Irish families are paying up to $4,000 a year or more for electricity following the sustained prices. And at the same time, Minister, we talked, and many have spoken about the warm homes situation. It hasn't, you know, since he got into government, the Green government, that was one area I thought he'd focus on and really deliver that on. Some people in my constituency are still waiting 2 years to get seen after, so elderly people, and they're extraordinary bills. And I was talking to a person the other day, and I mentioned that here in the Dáil. They said to me they opened their electricity bill in West Cork the other day. They said they had a pain in their chest. They sat down with a pain in their chest. How are they going to pay $700 after 2 months? And they couldn't figure out what to switch on the house. Now, of course, all the modern homes are everything electric, nothing else. But they were absolutely horrified to think, how are they going to find the €700 to pay that month's bill? And they were obviously going to have to ring the electric company to try and see could they do some kind of a deal. But that's not the way it's going to be. That's only kicking the can down the road. Businesses, of course, I mean, it's astonishing what businesses are paying. But the one whole point I'm trying to make is we continue, and we were giving little grants and little bits and pieces to people last year, you know, so much off their electricity bill. But the energy companies are not being brought to task at all. It's like as if you're afraid of them, or afraid in case you'd insult them or hurt their feelings or something. Don't be worrying about their feelings at all. It's the feelings of the people that vote for you should be worrying about. And they're not being taught about this. No one living should get a bill of €700 for a little bit of the electricity they're using, and a lot more. We hear elderly people, 1,600, 1,700 quid, who are cold in their homes, have no choice but to heat their homes. So the Minister is with the same with the drones, that was mentioned already in Dublin Airport. He's way off the mark altogether. He gets these energy companies around the table and to put his finger down, give them strict orders what they must do. They can get profits, but they must give some of the monies that they're grabbing out of the people's pockets back, because they have absolutely crucified people, Minister, and you stood idly by while that's going on.